It's a game changer because Eze is just so good. Arsenal have changed the game here. Arsenal have flipped the script. They truly have. Yes, losing Kai Havertz is one of their strikers. But they had Moreno that stepped into that position last year and did every bit as good. So they already have a backup. Gabriel Jesus is also not far from returning, so they have another backup there. Victor Gyökeres's availability is also very, very, very good. Plus, we haven't actually, we as football fans have not yet seen the prognosis. We don't know how long Kai Havertz is out for. It could be a couple of months, could be 3 months, could be a bit longer. There is talk of it being an ACL. But let's see how long he's out for. But they've got cover in the striker position should they need to use it. Eze. Tottenham, when they got this deal lined up, I said it changes Tottenham's season. They go from being a team that I think will make the top 8 to a team that could have pushed for the top 4. I think Eze is that special. I think Eze is that brilliant. I think Eze possesses that quality. He can play on the transition, which is going to be important for Arsenal in a number of games this season. Yes, they beat Manchester United. Yes, they beat us at the weekend. But you could see with better quality in the transition, that could have been a far more devastating result. He's fantastic at doing that. He's proven that in a Crystal Palace shirt. On top of this, and I think which is even more important, is the player comes in with a clutchness to himself. Not only has he scored loads of important goals in the league for Crystal Palace over the years, if you go back to last season and watch his performances and his output in the semi-final and the final of the FA Cup, you saw something different in him, another level. Scoring in those games and helping your team to win trophies is one of the most important parts to becoming a legend, becoming a world-class football player. I think it's so imperative to have that, whether it be in title races, whether it be in semi-finals and finals, these moments of brilliance that are needed from players to kind of scratch their names into folklore. He went and did. Clutch, clutch, clutch. We know he has a technical ability, and I think what we'll also see with Eze is now that he's going to join a team like Arsenal, you will see his levels go up a little bit. Very similar, in a similar way to we saw with Elise when he went to Bayern Munich. We've just seen an even better player. Now, what this also is, and this is an important thing, this is also a headache for Waneri. This is also a headache for Odegaard. But this is an important headache. This is the type of headache that every single football fan of Arsenal Football Club should want. They should be sitting there. They should be praying. They should be buzzing at the idea that they now have genuine competition. One, Waneri is going to have to really deliver to get a central role. Two, if Odegaard isn't playing well, you have a genuine, bona fide, experienced winner that can step into his place. This man can bench almost anybody at Arsenal Football Club. That isn't a dig at the current squad. That is praise for the quality and the brilliance that Arsenal will now possess. And we cannot allow ourselves to get we can't allow ourselves to forget that. You will see people that will say this is a problem. Where's he going to fit in? Where's he going to play? How's it going to work? This is a fantastic problem to have. Now, I'm not trying to put Kai Havertz's injury into a make it sound like a good thing. But sometimes in life, when there's a grey cloud, there is a silver lining. And the silver lining in this injury for Kai Havertz is Arsenal have acted. Unlike last January, when Odegaard had just returned and Kai Havertz was injured and Saka was injured, and I forget whoever else was injured, but it was a lot of players. Arsenal didn't act. And it was one of the reasons they fell out of the title race early, and they didn't have that extra firepower, that extra clutchness, that extra ability in that semi-final against Paris Saint-Germain to get themselves over the line. Eze could have been the difference. He has the ability to score team goals. He has the ability to score screamers and self-made goals out of nothing. And you need more and more players like it. PSG are full of them. And they proved that last season. So I look at this and I think from a squad perspective, Kai Havertz getting injured may be one of the biggest blessings in disguise that you have ever seen, at Arsenal. He is going to come back from that injury at some point, so that's an additional player. As I've mentioned, the likes of Moreno can go into the striker position if cover is needed for Victor Gyökeres as well. So I do think overall, this is a fantastic piece of business. And I spoke about this earlier on the Straight Facts podcast that I have, and that I felt that if Arsenal went into the season and the money had gone on Madueke and Victor Gyökeres, I didn't feel that was enough. Not because, listen, if Victor Gyökeres scores 30, 40 goals this season, it could damn well be enough. There's always a balance in this. But you have to look at what Arsenal's competitors are doing. You have to look at what City are buying, and there's still a chance they go and add more to their attack. You have to go and look at what Liverpool have done, plus they're still probably going to add Alexander Isak. And sometimes it's just about, you want to be proactive as a club. The vast majority of the time, you want to be proactive. You want to be ahead of the game. You want to have all your ducks in a row. But there are also times where you need to be reactive and say, hang on a minute, we were only going to buy Madueke and Gyökeres and Zubimendi as our main three players, plus some backup options. But because of the extra firepower a rival has gone and bought, we have to act in a similar way. Now, I think you might see the narrative change in the next few days that Arsenal were planning to do this anyway. They certainly can't hide behind the notion that they don't have money, because they've gone and done this before selling anybody. And this is what they should have done irrespective. But long story short, it is very likely, according to the news, that Eze is going to become an Arsenal player. And this for me changes the script. This is a game changer. And this is a player that could, and I want to repeat the word could, so nobody misconstrues what I'm saying. This could be the player that helps Arsenal win their first league title in 22 years. He has the ability now, alongside everything else they have in their team, to make that happen. They have good wingers. They have brilliance through the middle. They have a prolific goal scorer. They have amazing youngsters coming through. We already know the midfield is set. The midfield of Zubimendi, alongside Norgard, Rice, etc., is from a protective point of view, it's there. Defensively, the best in the country, potentially the best in Europe. I think that is absolutely undeniable. Doesn't need a debate. I think it needs no debate whatsoever. Eze to Arsenal is a damn scary signing. And to add insult to injury, which I know Gooners are going to absolutely love in every single which way, they've taken him off Tottenham. There is something poetically beautiful about that. Poetically beautiful about that. And I think that Berta's first summer was at risk of ending at best in an underwhelming way. In a way in which our Arsenal fans were left scratching their heads and saying, is he really better than what we had in Edu? Has he really delivered the players and the squad to help get us, and that's me speaking as if I was an Arsenal fan, over the line? But by pulling this deal off, the timing of this deal, beating Tottenham Hotspur to that signature, this is gargantuan. And it's the game changer in the title race that, if I neutralise myself for a minute and take myself out of this as a Man United fan, it's brilliant. As a Man United fan, I'm actually buzzing. I don't want Arsenal to win the league in my heart of hearts, but Man United can't stop Liverpool. Man United can't stop Manchester City. So I have to look at this strategically and say, it's a bit like the weakest link. You ever watch the game The Weakest Link? Sometimes you get the last 3 or 4 contestants and they realise, because they've all got brains, they go, we've actually got to vote the smart one off rather than ourselves, because none of us can beat the smart one. And that's how I sort of feel about this. My team can't win it yet. So I do look at the deals that Chelsea and Arsenal were doing and say, please do the best you possibly can, because I need someone to stop number 21 from Liverpool. I need someone to stop Pep Guardiola winning more and edging ever closer to Fergie's total number, because who knows how long he's actually going to stay here for in case he extends further. So I am happy to see this from a perspective of somebody stopping Liverpool, somebody stopping City from winning it again. Idealistically, I'd rather it be my football club, but there we go. But listen, Arsenal, this is massive. You've got to get the last few details over the line, but I think you have just changed your season. Hit the like button, please. Make sure you are subscribing. Get that bell notification turned on as well. Wow, what fantastic business.